What does it mean to be a home? I mean, think about it. Is it Christmas trees, multi-car garages, or perfectly manicured lawns? Well, honestly, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to convince you that it's none of those things. This is what Google thinks a home is. Is it a house or is it a home? House home. Either way, this is what most Americans consider to be the American dream, but this is not most people's reality. This is our reality. In 2015, 131 men, women, and youth died on the streets of Denver. And no, it's not because they don't have Christmas trees or multi-car garages or that perfectly manicured lawn. Yeah, there are shelters, transitional housing establishments, and motel vouchers, but they get filled or are considered to be unsafe, or like this 400-person shelter in Aurora are going to close. And let's face it, Denver, these aren't homes. So we went out and asked the homeless on 16th Street, what do they think a home is? They said things like a roof over your head, freedom, a place to feel safe and comfortable, and a place to feel safe, or a place to start a fresh life and get off the streets. A lot of people tell me, oh, they're lazy. But if you add being starving and cold, or having drug addiction, or being just mentally and physically abused, and all of that on top of trying to find a safe space to sleep every night, I mean, that sounds like a pretty tough job to me. Across the world, individuals without a home have to build them. And while it's very prevalent in India, I think that in the United States, we just turned a blind eye to it. We don't want to look at it. Portland, Oregon does, though. They have this is a communal tent structure where they allow individuals to just pitch a tent. And it just focuses on one thing. They have some rules, but they all get safety, because as much as some of us are scared of them, a lot of them are scared of us. In Camp Hope, they get 10 by 10 boxes in which they can pitch a tent and have a space that they can declare their own. But the most crucial thing about Camp Hope is that they're able to form together and find a community of individuals to help them get over their own problems. Opportunity Village is a micro-housing community, which is just asking individuals to share facilities, and you can build these things for only $3,000. But it allows an individual to get a routine and have a life and get a job. Dignity Village is a community of homeless determined to be self-reliant. These individuals are determined to make micro-businesses succeed. They have gardens that they sell their food at farmers markets with, or they build birdhouses together in order to support the community. This is TORRE David in Caracas, Venezuela. It's our world's largest vertical slum. It was an abandoned building when 4,000 people moved into it in the 90s. They found this space and they spruced it up. They made their own shops and businesses and even a gym on the roof. Camp QUIXOTE is a tiny house community for homeless. They have their own home, they have their own bathrooms, and they have their own kitchens. And with this camp, they're able to house really affordable housing. They only cost $20,000 to build. And if you think about it, they're able to focus on what really matters. So in searching at what we should do in Denver, the team I led wanted something similar to TORRE David, where we found a space that's not being utilized. And we found it. In fact, we found over 43,623 parking spaces. And they're scattered around Denver. These parking spaces are abandoned at night. They have the perfect infrastructure to protect you from the elements. They often have security to protect the homeless. And sometimes they even have bathrooms and showers. So we visited them and we sketched. We interpreted the stall line as a property line, the bumper as a locker, and utilized existing infrastructure that you could perhaps affix a tent to. They focused on just providing 3 simple things: safety, privacy, and the ability to rest. Install, it could be sponsored by organizations or individuals, and it's just so the homeless community that we care, that we just want to give back and help them so they can focus on getting rest and just whatever problems they have in their lives. We also found, however, that the homeless don't like handouts, and they don't respect them. They actually prefer to have to pay a little bit if it's just something. So we suggest partnering with B-Cycle and the shelters to ensure that these homeless just check them out and are held responsible for their behavior in them. So we created Install. It's not much, and it definitely doesn't have that perfectly manicured lawn, but it provides homeless individuals and everyone in Denver with a place to just find some rest. There are a lot of things that we could do, Denver. And as a community, I think we need to step up to help another.